Hi, welcome to the Genealogy Society. How are you? Uh-huh. Oh, okay. You called ahead? Let me see here. Oh, right. Oh, I'm glad you can make it. Have a seat, please. So, you were looking for some assistance in tracing your family history. Okay, well, that is exactly what we do. Tell me how much you know about your family. Okay, well, that's probably enough for us to get started here. Just let me load a fresh screen. And what I'm going to do is create a custom tree for you, and then we'll set up online access for you, and we can kind of work back and forth on it together. Okay? Once we get going, we can probably connect one or more of your lines with lines that we already have in the database, and so you'll be able to find your way back into your family history a little more easily after that. Can I get you anything to drink? No? Okay, well, just let me know if you need anything. Okay. Alright, so the easiest way to begin is to start with you. So, what's your name? Middle name? And last name? Okay. Are you married? Okay. Okay, we'll get spouse's information in just a second. What's your date of birth? Okay. And where were you born? Oh, no kidding. Yeah, that's not far from where I was born. Uh-huh. Okay. Sorry, there's a little kink in the system here. Okay. Okay. Spouse's name. Okay. Middle name was okay. Yeah. Wasn't sure if that was two names or one. Okay. Date of birth. Place of birth. Okay. Okay. Do you have kids? No. Okay. Okay. Tell me your son's name. Oh, yes. So this file is completely secure and only you will have access, which will be password controlled. We'll set that up later. And then it does link in to other people's databases, but for anyone living, all they'll see is we can set it up so they see initials or they see nothing. We can set it up so they just see a gender, they can see a first name. We'll set it up however you like. But for now, it'll all be password protected. We can do that security piece at the end. Okay. But no, your son's name will not show if you don't want it to. Okay. And what's his date of birth? Okay. And what's his place of birth? Okay. Okay. Any more kids? Not yet. Okay. Okay. Well, you'll have to come back in then. As we grow the family. I mean, I'm not planning to have anything to do with it, but okay. All right, so now let's do your parents. What is your father's name? Okay. With us. Okay. Okay. And his date of birth? Okay. And do you know his place of birth? Even if it's just a county, whatever state, whatever level you know. Okay. 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 Little error there. Okay. Ah. There we go. Okay. And how about your mother's name? Okay. Mm-hmm. And date of birth? Okay. And place of birth, do you know? Ah, mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Keep getting that error message on the system. There we go. There we go. Okay. Sorry, her place of birth was? Uh-huh. Oh, interesting. Okay. Okay. And they're both still living? Oh, okay, sorry. What was his date of death? Okay. And do you know where he? Mm-hmm. Okay. Okay. Is your mother remarried? Okay, so it can be helpful just for database connections if we go on and add your stepfather in. Okay. Mm-hmm. His date of birth? Do you, even the month? Okay. What about the year? Okay. And do you know where? Even the state? Okay. Okay. All right, so now we have to figure out what line we're going to start with. Are you mostly interested in your father's line, your mother's line? I mean, eventually we'll fill in, multiple lines going back, but just to start. Okay. Okay. Well, let's do that one. Do you know his father's name, your grandfather? Mm-hmm. Oh, uh-huh. Sorry. Okay. Okay. Now, do you know anything, his date of birth? Or just the year? Okay, that's fine. Okay. And where? Uh-huh. Well, county's good. Is he living? Okay. What's his date of death? And do you know where? Okay. Okay. Now what about your grandmother? What's her name? With E-A, okay. Middle name? Okay. And what was her maiden name? How do you... Okay, let me note that we want to search similar sounding things, and I'll do my best here. Okay. It's unusual, which means it may be easier to find. Sometimes when it's a less common name, it's easier to find links to it. Okay. Okay, what about her date of birth? Uh-huh. And place? Okay. Okay. All right, so we're getting hits for both of them already. Let's stay with the patrilineal for a minute. Okay. Do you know anything further back than that? Okay, so tell me, who's your great-grandfather? What was his name? Right here. Yep. Okay, so I'm going to link in. Okay, so this is telling me your great-grandfather was born in 1884. Does that sound right? What was his middle name? That's this one. Okay, now let's see. I will caution you. So when you're doing genealogical research, now that we have a large kind of internet community of amateur genealogists, I think it's great because it can give you leads on your research. But you do need to kind of independently examine and vet each piece of information you find. And you need to cite sources for all your information. So at some point we want to go back in and backstop your information about you and about your parents and about your grandparents that we put in the database with source material. Whether that is a birth certificate or a census report, or for the people who are deceased, a death certificate, to verify that information and to help other people who are doing research to understand that the information is sourced and reliable. So here we have your great-grandfather in the system. Oh, so this is census data. Okay, he had a lot of kids. Did you know that? Looks like he may have a lot of cousins in the world. Okay. Let's see. So in addition to your grandfather, let me call up the census report here. This is the, it's like the 1920 census. Yeah, 1920. In addition to your grandfather, there was a daughter named Beatrice. Do you have a great Aunt B? Do you know Aunt B? Okay, all right. And a John. Oh, actually, it looks like John died as an infant, sort of not long after he was born. Did you know that? Looks like it was before your grandfather was born. Okay. There was another brother named Ernest. And a Silva. So it's a little hard to read. Silva, I think, is what it says, or Sylvia, but it looks like it's a male. So anyway, and then another daughter named Ruth. And are all those familiar? Okay, so we know we have the right family. Okay, and then okay, so it looks like your great-grandfather was born. Married. I started to say born twice. Was married twice. Not sure which one is your do you know your great-grandmother's name? This has Edna, but you think it's spelled a different. Okay, so Etna. Interesting. Okay. And her maiden name, do you know, is, looks like it was Pierce. Let me see what source they're citing here, because they have it as Edna, but you say Etna. And they're also citing a census, so let me see if there's anything else. Let me see if we have any other secondary sources. I can do that over here. Names. Oh yeah. Okay, so it's showing up in, there's more than one census. So let me look at this one. No, wait, that's, yeah. Okay, so, let's see, she also has siblings. Oh, yeah, no, you're right. So this source is pretty clearly, the handwriting in the other source is a little fuzzy, but this one's pretty clearly a T, so you're right. Although, there's a thing that happens with old. So, instead of having Etna, it has Etni with a Y? Who's that? A nickname. Okay. 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 So this is why you've already expanded our database, given us more information here. So let me see. As I told you, we had a couple more sources. So let me look at this one. Oh, here's a marriage certificate. Okay, hold on. There we go. Etna, there you go. All right, thanks. So you have officially helped expand the knowledge of the community. Because people we had it as Edna a couple of times, actually. Okay. Okay. And then she passed away in... It was probably the flu. There were so many that year. Have you heard that? Okay. And then... You want to go back into still going up your great-grandfather's line? Okay, so your great-great-grandfather, you don't know. Okay, well, guess what? His name was Jasper. Middle initial N. He was born in April 1849. Died on January 13th, 1936 in Metcalfe County. Yeah. Okay, so the source material for him, there is census data showing your great-grandfather and, again, a number of siblings there. There was a sister Ruby, a sister Mary called Polly. You heard of any of these? A brother, what does that say? Amos, I think. Oh, that was your great-grandfather's middle name. Okay, you're right. You're right. After his uncle, looks like. And an Edward, in addition to Jasper. Okay. Jasper married any idea? Mary, let me link this in. Yeah, this is definitely your line. Mary Ermine, I think, Wallace, E-R-M-I-N-E, Wallace. Wallace is a name you know. Oh, is that right? Okay, well, we gotta, okay, so all the way back to Braveheart, huh? Okay, it might take us a while to get back there, but if that is, family lore is one of the best sources of um, inspiration and early research data. Sometimes it turns out not to be precisely correct, but often it does, and it whatever you know kind of from oral tradition in your family is a really important primary source to start your research. Okay, so we'll see if we get all the way back to William Wallace, but for now, Mary Erman Wallace is born in July 1851 in Greene County. Let's see if we can find a city. I'm not seeing. The traffic's loud today, sorry. Let's see, I'm not seeing any other sources here. Yeah, no, so Greene County. And she died on December 1st, 1922. Okay. All right. Okay. You want to go back to your Oh, all right. No, we can stay. We can stay on this line. Whatever is interesting to you. Okay. For this first day, it really is just about filling in whatever pieces we can fill in, and then we'll go back and figure out which lines have the most data available, which are of most interest to you. Okay. Okay. So her father then is Hugh Wallace. He was married to Francis Pierce. Oh, that's a family name you know too? Pierce? Okay. Okay. Hugh Wallace was born in 1815, also in Greene County. These are some actually long roots in the state. And he died in 1889. I don't have a date for either of those, but we'll see if we can find one. We'll make a note about him. Okay. In general, as you're doing research, there are 3 dates that are really useful to keep in mind, which are birth date, death date, and date of marriage. All of those are likely to have some official record, at least during the time that records are kept, and sometimes in some places those records go back for centuries. In some places they're more recent. If there was if records were destroyed, they can be hard to find. Fire often will destroy records, but those are the sorts of dates that were kept in not only government registries, but houses of worship tended to keep that information about parishioners. So you're able to find that using that data, you're able to kind of link in and know if you're dealing with the right people. So that said, I don't have a marriage date for Hugh Wallace. Let me see. Oh, this line goes back. If the research is correct, you're going to have a lot of information. Okay, so here's something interesting. I'll show you all of this when we're done, but when I put in data, it begins to build a family tree. And I linked into an existing tree, so now your tree is pretty large. But so this great grandmother, we back 2 greats at 3, Francis Pierce, who's married to Hugh Wallace. What's interesting is your tree links back into itself, meaning that you have cousins who married, which is not uncommon, particularly in smaller towns. But let's see if we can trace this line back down. So Francis Pierce has a brother named Francis Pierce is your great grandmother. She has a brother named Pascal C. Pierce, who is your great grandfather, but on a different line. He was born 1817, died 1884. He was married to Melissa Ennis. Their son, John Abner Pierce, here we go, is married to Louise Elizabeth Shadowin, is how you know it. So there's that name, okay? And their child was Edna. You're exactly right. Right. So, yeah, your tree does that a little. Again, it's very common. I mean, when we get back to, if your family goes far enough back to be if we have anything from before about the 1600s, 1500s, you'll see pretty frequent intermarriage. So, usually it's at that level. Second cousins will marry. Occasionally you'll see first cousins. More often, second cousins or first cousin once removed sometimes. Because generations will start not to line up. Right? Oh, removal? So everyone finds this confusing, but here's how it works. If you're in the same generation, you'll just be cousins, first, second, whatever, cousins. If one of the people that you're relating to is of a different generation from the common ancestor, then there'll be removal. So, maybe it's easier just to show you this. Let me show you. Okay, so if your grandmother and your grandfather have, actually let's do great. And then their kid is your grandparent, right? Your grandparent has two siblings, your dad and your aunt, okay? Your aunt has your cousin, give me a real cousin's name. Okay, Lynn, okay. And then here's you, okay? You and Lynn are first cousins. Lynn's kid, okay. That's your first cousin once removed. Your son and Lynn's kid are second cousins. See? Make sense? Yeah. And Lynn and your son are first cousins once removed. Right. You get used to it after a while, but it takes a little bit of seeing it on paper. Okay, so I think that's got us off to a good start. What I want to do is we'll do some other paperwork to get your internet thing set up. We'll want to do all of your privacy preferences, and then we'll start to fill in some of the gaps on these. But I think we're right at 30 minutes now, which is probably a good start for today. And then let's set up a time to do it again. Okay? And to continue the research. You're going to have some interesting stuff here. I can tell there's a lot of data out there about your family. Okay? All right. Well, thank you for coming in. Really enjoyed talking to you. Thanks. Have a good day.